Hello, my name is Colleen Magness, and today you are creating with Colleen. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on the east coast of Virginia, and today I would like to introduce to you some new product that Stampin' Up! Is coming out with tomorrow, March 8th, 2021. It is actually a beautiful collection of butterflies, and the stamp set and dies I'm going to show you are an early release. I don't know if you realize, but this year they are changing the catalogs to where the actual annual catalog will start in May instead of June. So they are letting us get our hands on a new bundle and some product that is only available before the catalog. So let me explain it to you. With that product though, we are going to create this card today. So I'll tell you more about the card, but it uses all the products that are in the new Butterfly Brilliance Suite. So let me explain the suite to you first. First, you're going to get a stamp set called Butterfly Brilliance. And I love it because it is a detailed type stamp. So whenever you stamp these images, they are just going to pop off your page. They're going to be beautiful. Now, the Butterfly Brilliance bundle includes this stamp set, which is a red rubber set, and it is all one piece. And that is really cool because you are going to be able to stamp and cut 6 butterflies at one time. So here you have your stamp set. And one of the things I do, let me just give you a little tip here. When I mount my stamps, I always put a little piece of like clear Scotch tape, say in the corner. These are the new cling stamps and they are very, very sticky. So when I put this on a block, if I had just taken a piece of clear Scotch tape, put it in the corner, that's not sticky. So when I go to pull it off my block, I put my finger under there, pulls right up. Now with the stamp set this big, I actually took a strip of the clear tape and put it across the middle too, because the new cling stamps are great. Again, they're very sticky. They're not going to fall off your block, but I don't need them to stick that much. So a little bit of tape here helps too. Just my little 2 cents, my little trick. So with the dies, you have a large die that, as I said, is going to cut out every one of those butterflies with just one pass through your die cutting machine. So that is part of the dies. That's our stamp set. The dies are actually 12 dies. The large piece is one of them. And then I'll show you these. These are the other 11 dies, which to me never show you much. So let me show you them in reality. Here we have 6 detailed butterflies, which are great and coordinate with that stamp set that you just saw. Then you have some textured dies, something new they're coming out with that I have been loving. The dots, and then these bricks right here. So these are part of the dies. You also have these 2 small butterflies. And then that big die that I was showing you, that is, those are the 6 butterflies that were cut out from the stamp set. So they were stamped, cut all at one time. But then what is great is with the designer paper, there is also a sheet of designer paper in there where you can stamp all 6 butterflies, cut them. I'm sorry, you don't stamp them. From the paper, you're going to cut them at one time. So it's a 6x6 pack of designer paper. It's called Butterfly Bayou, and it is 48 sheets. This is the sheet I was telling you about. So if you take this designer paper and the solid die, there again, you are going to be able to cut out in one sweep 6 beautiful butterflies that you can use on your projects. So now the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set and the dies, these will actually carry over. So these are going to carry over as a bundle where you can get them for 10% off into the new catalog starting in May. You can also purchase them starting March 2nd at the 10% off price also. So this is an early release that will carry over. The designer paper will not carry over. So this is a designer paper, and again, it's called Butterfly Bayou 48 sheets for only $11.50, but the colors are just fantastic. I myself am so ready for spring. We've had a very wet winter, and a pretty chilly one for us, but I won't complain because I've seen what some of you have had for your winter. And again, I won't complain. But I'm ready for some spring colors, and this designer paper is beautiful. So what I like to do is I create a sampler, so when I'm creating, I can see the whole pack of paper at one time. So these are just rectangles that I cut 2 inches by 3 inches, and I'll just do the front, the back, the front, the back. And this way, when I'm creating, all the guesswork is out of it for what I want to make. I can see exactly the colors I want to use. Now they also have what's called a natural touch specialty paper. And I don't know if my camera is doing it justice, but this paper is awesome. It's actually, it just looks like wood. It's a natural birch color, and there's 2 sheets to the pack, and this is 12 by 12 paper for only $5. So the Natural Touch Specialty Paper and the Butterfly by You, those are only available while supplies last. So don't delay in getting those. The bundle will carry over, but you're going to want these products that coordinate so well with that bundle in your Stampin' stash. So let's get started on our card. So this was a card. I have a team of very talented demonstrators under me, and the best thing that we just love to do is create. We all do. So one of the things we do each month is we have a sketch challenge. So this was their sketch challenge. They had to use the layout of this card, and then they could pick the stamp set, their own designer paper, and then we shared all of our cards created onto our Facebook group, our closed Facebook group for the team, and then we had door prizes for those who had entered. So I just believe that creating with my team is the most important part, because that really is the most fun of Stampin' Up. So this was our card, this was our layout, and when you open it, I added an extra touch. This was a, Judy Clock showed us how to make this, and she called it a pop-up card. So that was another perk of being a demonstrator, is we have a closed Facebook group for our region, and we will have Stampin' Saturdays where they come along and show us different projects. So now I'm going to show you how to make this card. I'm going to give you the dimensions in sections. I'll do the mechanism and the inside separate, but basically for the brunt of the card, for most of it, you're going to have a piece, this is Pool Party, a piece of 11 by 4 1/4, and you're going to score it at 5 1/2. So since that's already scored, I'll give it a nice crease and set it aside. Now for my inside piece, I'm going to have a piece of white that is 5 1/4 by 4. And of course, I had to cut one of those beautiful little designer paper butterflies. That will go with it. For my front piece, I have a piece of the basic black that is 5 1/4 by 4. Then I have 2 pieces of designer paper that are 4-inch, let me get these here, 4 by 1. I have 2 pieces of the designer paper that are 2 3/4 by 1. And then for my centerpiece, I have a piece that is 2 7/8 by 1 5/8. So that's going to create the front of my card. And then for my little embellishment, I used that large die, cut out a solid butterfly, cut out the coordinating detailed butterfly, and those two will go together. So let me put him together first, and I'll just set him aside. Whenever I put these dies on here, I just love using my liquid Tombow glue. It's tacky, so it's going to hold in place, and it's strong, so I don't need much. I'm just going to dab a little bit on the center of the butterfly. I'll put them on here, because again, they coordinate so beautifully. And then let me slide him to pick him up. And the other thing I like to do, I want to give a little bit of bling in here. So I could use a wink of Stella, but I am a huge, huge fan of using our champagne shimmer paint. It comes in champagne and frost white. Then I just take a spray bottle. I put in 70% alcohol. You want the rubbing alcohol that has a lower alcohol content so it doesn't clog up on you. I put my alcohol in here, some drops of my champagne mist, and then just shake it up. And then I test it on something. So if I think it needs more, I add more. If I don't, I leave it. Just remember, you can add more, you just can't take it out. So always shake it because it does settle to the bottom. And then I'm going to spritz my butterfly. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's beautiful. Beautiful and glittery. So I like to kind of mold him while he's a little damp. And I'm just going to put him aside. So for my pieces, again, I have the 11 by 4 1/4 pool party. For my front piece, 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to go ahead and put my designer series paper on here. Now keep in mind when you are doing this, I always tell everyone, do not stick it down or push it down till it's exactly where you want it. So I just kind of lay this on here. A little bit of an edge on each. And see, it's already a little crooked. That's going to drive me nuts. Let me try again. Okay. So I'm going to put that piece there. Take this 1 by 4 inch piece. Put it in the bottom left corner. Then for my side pieces, I find it's easier to turn it. But this is my 1 by 2 3/4. And I'm matching it up with the edges of the pieces already on here. So I want it to be nice and symmetrical. So I have that. And then this piece here. Alrighty. And then I look at it and I say, you know what? I can live with that. So then I'll push these pieces down. And then for my centerpiece, I have a piece again of the Butterfly Bouquet paper. And I'm using the sentiments from another great stamp set called Butterfly Wishes. And I always love this set because I love the font. I think the sentiments are great, and I love the distinctive stamping of these butterflies. I mean, you stamp them and they just look real on your page. So I am going to take the words, "It was a perfect day because of you," and I will stamp that a little bit towards the left and on the top. And while I have my Memento ink out, I'm also going to take my inside piece. And I love this saying too. It says, "A sweet friendship refreshes the soul." And that is oh so true. So I'm just going to stamp that on the bottom. And I think I can get a little straighter. So that's why I've always loved stamping, because you get 2 tries on every card. And if you don't like the second one, you go back to the first, but I like the second one better. So I'll just set that aside. So I'm going to take this piece of designer paper. Again, line it up in the center. Yep, I can live with that. And then I will take this and tape this to the base of my card. So you can see how it's coming together. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that little butterfly, the sparkly butterfly I created, and I'm just going to put on 2 of the mini dimensionals. Peel my pieces off, throw them on the floor because I am at home. That's how I gauge my day at how productive I've been, is by how much paper is on the stamp room floor. So it's really a good thing. And then here I have my butterfly on the front. Now for my inside, I'm just going to take where I have stamped the good side. I will put this in the center, and I should have a designer paper butterfly. Did he fly away? Oh my goodness. He should be here. How come, the other thing too, I was thinking, why are my butterflies always he's? As pretty as they are, you would think they would be a she. Okay, well, I'm going to have to find me one or pull it off of another card. We will come back to our butterfly Hold on one second. See, I told you I will teach you what to do. I may teach you what not to do. But by golly, I promise to teach you something. So, look at that. Pulled them off another card I had made. Perfect. And now I'll find the one that I couldn't find. So this, again, I cut with the dies from the designer paper. Look, looks like he was supposed to be there all the time. Okay, so now that right there, you could stop right there. And that makes, I think, a great card that somebody would really like. But let me show you again how to do the pop-up. So that's what I'll show you from Judy Clock. So for that, here's my mechanism measurements. I have to have 3 black squares. They are 2-inch squares. I have 3 pieces of designer paper that are 1 3/4 each square. This strip, I changed her measurement a little bit because I needed the 2 center pieces to be symmetrical. So what I did is it's 10.5 by 1.5, and I scored at 2.5, 5 1/4, and 8 inches. And that will be my mechanism on the inside. And then I have 3 more of the black butterflies. And so I will go ahead and spritz them so that they can be drying. Now they should dry pretty quick because I use rubbing alcohol as opposed to water because alcohol evaporates. So I'll just set them aside and hope they don't fly off with the other one. Goodness gracious. So here I will take the 1 3/4 squares and mount them on the 2-inch. So I have 1, 2, and then my 3. Okay. And then I am going to take my butterflies and I will go ahead and glue them on here. You know what? I spritzed the back side of that, the wrong side, so I just spritz them again. There we go. I like to have the nice soft sides. You can actually tell the difference. You see a little bit more of the cut on the back side, but on the front, it's nice and smooth. And when I used these dies, I actually cut them with wax paper. So what I did is I had my black cardstock, I put on a piece of wax paper, and then I put my die on there, and it makes all of these little pieces pop out very easily. Anything that's really detailed like that, I usually use wax paper. As much as I go through it, I'm so glad it's so inexpensive because I really do use it all the time for all my projects. So I'm going to put a butterfly there. And then I think I want to put the yellow with my large one in the center. They're so pretty. And then one more on the right here. I'll put them going this way. I'll just push that down, give it just a few seconds, which again is why I love the Tombow liquid, because it dries in no time. I can move it around if I need to, at least for a couple seconds. So let me set these aside and show you how this goes inside of your card. So when I open this piece here is going to get taped to the front like that. So I'll turn it over. I'll put on my designer paper, not my designer paper, put my adhesive, just kind of centered in the middle, and I went to the corner here. So I'm going to put this on. Then, in order, because it's going to come like this, you can see that, I have that taped, it's going to pop up, and then this is going to go on this side. So to get this in the right position, I am just going to fold it in half. Okay, let me make sure I've got it nice and straight. And then this piece here, so I folded it in half, this gets folded back. And again, this is where you can give it a nice crease to make sure it's nice and straight. Because again, for my adhesive here, it has to go like that. So I tape this, fold in half, fold back. And then that is where I will put my adhesive, and then all I simply have to do is shut my card. And that is my mechanism. So I could have put my butterflies on here before, but I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. That's really strong. I could also use the Stampin' Seal Plus. I could use my Tombow liquid glue. Really is pretty endless what I can use. So I am going to take the first butterfly, and instead of putting it on here, I'm just going to put a strip on the back. So I will put this one here. Take my large one. Put this here. And then last but not least, I can put this one here. And actually what I'll probably do is put it more towards the end because it keeps everything even here, and then I don't see this part sticking out. So then this can go right on the edge there. Pull it up just a little bit. And that is how you make this beautiful Butterfly Brilliance card. And it opens as such. So I hope you enjoyed the card today. Again, all of these wonderful products will be going live to customers tomorrow, March 8th, 2021. The designer papers are only while supplies last, so don't forget about that. And then the dies and the Butterfly Brilliance, you can purchase as a bundle now, and it will carry over into the new catalog. Now they also have it on here where you can get the Butterfly Brilliance Collection. That number is 159408, and it includes everything that you see. And I will have all the details on my blog, which is creatingwithcolleen.com. So I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you would like to receive my newsletter, I always share videos and creative ideas in there. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. If you're on Facebook, please share my page and just help me share the creativity with others. Thank you for joining me so much today. I really do appreciate it. And may God bless you, and please do something creative. Take care until next time. Bye-bye.